If you're on version 27 of your mix, then this video is for you. I've been mixing for almost 20 years, and honestly, one of the hardest lessons I had to learn wasn't EQ or compression, but it was how to finish a mix. When you do this professionally, day in and day out, you don't get to just phone it in. Every mix is someone's dream, someone's baby, and I don't take that lightly. So over the years, I've developed 3 rules that tell me with confidence when a mix is done. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you exactly what those 3 rules are. Let's jump in. Okay, so the first rule is the red flag approach. This is something I heard Manny Marroquin talk about years ago, and it is something that has guided me through every single mix. The concept of this is when I first play a mix, tons of little red flags go up, right? The vocals are too loud, the vocals are too muddy, the kick isn't kicking enough, the snare sounds flat, this needs to be tuned, that needs to be vocal lined, so on and so forth. So many things to fix on a mix. And slowly you start attacking those, right? You fix up the vocals, fix up the kick, and slowly but surely, what I consider the red flags start going down as I play through the mix. And eventually you'll get to a point where when you play the song from the beginning, 30 seconds will go by, no red flags will go up, and then suddenly you'll hear something and be like, oh, let me fix that. Go back to the beginning. And when you get to the point where you can listen from the beginning of the song till the end of the song, and you don't have any little red flags go up, that's when I consider the mix done. Now, one little bonus tip to this red flag approach is many times we can get locked in on one section of the song. For instance, a lot of times when I first start mixing, I'll just play the chorus because that's where most of the instruments are playing, and I can get a good balance of the whole mix with the chorus. But there are dangers in that if we just keep listening to the chorus, we can lose concept of what the song actually is and start turning into mad scientists as opposed to someone who's trying to make a song that's going to be really good for the listener to listen to. So once you get a good balance on your mix, I always think it's a good idea to start listening to the song in entirety. And that way you'll be listening to it as the listener will be listening to it as a full piece of work. And you can really catch all the emotional cues of, going from the verse to the chorus and so on and so forth. So like I said, with the red flags, get all the major red flags out and then start listening from top to bottom and over again until you don't have any flags left. All right, so the next rule is the bounce rule, or otherwise known as turn off the screen rule. So once I get through my red flag approach, the next thing to do is to listen to it as a bounce, or what I'll do is just turn off the screen or hide the DAW. I don't know what it is. I have no idea of the science behind this, but many times when I close the DAW, or if I'm just listening to the final bounce without the DAW open anymore, I'll hear 2 or 3 things that just jump out that I just didn't hear when I was sitting there in front of the DAW mixing. I don't know what it is, but it's a great way to dial in on the few final things that can really make a song great. A lot of times those things I hear when listening to the bounce or when the screen is closed are big emotional things that can really make a song, like something that was not sticking out when the verse transitions to the chorus that really should have been, and can totally make all the energy shift so that the chorus comes in a lot stronger. So once you get through the red flag approach, the second step is to do the bounce approach, or just closing your screen and just listening to the song like a listener. I know it sounds super easy and a simple concept, but I've had so many times where that's made the difference on some really big sections of a song and brought the song to another level. Okay, so we have knocked down all the red flags. We have listened to the bounce on its own, either in the studio or in our car or in AirPods, which are all great ways to make sure the mix is sounding good and translating. The final rule is what I call the 24-hour rule, or in some cases, the 1-hour break rule. And the concept behind this rule is that fresh ears tell the truth. So for me, I usually mix 1.5 to 2 songs a day, depending on how big the song is and how many parts there are. So what I do is I start the first song in the morning and I put a timer on for an hour and I mix, just in the flow, doing my thing, fixing all the red flags. And then when that hour hits, I close the session and I open the second song I'm going to work on that day and I start working on that for an hour. After that, I'll take a break, 20 minutes, take a little walk, come back and start back on the first song again. And by doing this and taking these breaks between songs, you're giving your ears a fresh perspective on that song. And to me, there is nothing more powerful than that. Taking a break from a song and then listening to it again an hour or even 24 hours later, you just hear things so much more clearly. You open up the song again and suddenly what you felt was like close to done, there's another like 100 red flags out, and you just go through and fix all those up and close it, go back to the other song until you get back and forth. Every time is a fresh approach, and it's a really great way to get mixes done in a timely fashion without sacrificing anything as far as quality goes. So yeah, that's what I do during the day. And then finally, at the end of the day, I'll print the final bounce and leave it. And in the morning, I come in and listen to the final mix again. If all 3 of those boxes have been checked, then I'll send off the song to the client and wait for revisions. All right, so that is the video, guys. Hopefully this was helpful. I know a lot of you have mentioned that you struggle with knowing how to finish a song, so hopefully these rules will help. If you have any rules that you use, please put in the comments below. Love to hear your ideas on how you finished your songs. And if you need your songs mixed or mastered, please hit me up at mixandmastermysong.com. Talk to you guys soon.